Hi, reading friends. It's Mrs. Steck. I am so glad to be with you today, and I'm so glad that we get to start our reading lessons together. Before we get started, I just want to tell you how eager I am to teach you reading. I want to share just a little bit of a story with you before we get started. So I know that each of you are coming to reading class in all different ways, shapes, and forms. Some of you are able to read just about everything Mrs. Steck puts in front of you. Some of you cannot read any of the words Mrs. Steck is going to be putting in front of you. Some of you can read some of the words and sound some out, but you're still struggling. You are really concerned about reading. And I want to put your mind at ease. I want you to know that reading should not be a chore. Reading should be fun. Reading is a way that you can escape what you're doing and go into someone else's world, and you can pretend to be a part of someone else's world through this book. Also, reading can be an adventure. There can be new things that you learn, new things that you can pretend to be. So I want you to use reading time with an open mind. I also want you to take a big breath. I want you to know that I'm with you, that I'm going to help you through this, and that we're going to be able to reach our reading goals. I want to share this story with you because I think someone out there may need to hear this. So when I was a little girl in first grade, I was the cute little girl with the blonde hair and the little pigtails, and my teacher really enjoyed me. She would talk to me all the time. We would giggle and laugh. She would help me with my work. First grade was awesome. I just enjoyed it so much. But little did that teacher know, she did not know that when I left first grade, I didn't know how to read. I had pretended to know how to read. I had read the pictures. I had listened to my friends. I was smart enough to be able to do some of those things, but to put a book in front of me, I couldn't read. I didn't know what the words said. Some of them I couldn't even sound out. So when I went to second grade, I tried it. I would smile and talk to my teacher and bring her apples and butter her up and all of this. But for some reason, my second grade teacher figured me out. And she walked up to me at the beginning of the year, a few weeks in, and she said, "Hey, I think that you and I need to talk a little bit." She said, "Do you know all of these words on this page?" And I just looked up at her because nobody had asked me that before, and I said, "No, not really." And so through the years, she helped me. She helped me learn how to blend words together. She taught me how to scoop up words and read words quicker. She taught me how to explore books and how to enjoy them. And actually, that's why I became a reading teacher, because I want to be able to help a second grade student who was just like me, that really doesn't like reading or really doesn't know how to read, and they need a buddy to come across with them, beside them, to help them, cheer them on, teach them the ins and outs. And that's going to be me. I'm going to be able to help you with that. So I don't want you to be worried about reading class. I just want you to do your best. I just want you to do what Mrs. Steck asks you to do. I just want you to try. And then I'm going to help you along the way. So today, I just want to show you what our learning target is. Just like you have in first grade, we have goals or learning targets that we want to meet every day. And our learning target is, as a reader, today, I'm going to be able to answer who, what, and where in a story. So I can identify the story elements. The story elements are who, what, and where, character, setting, problem, solution. I will know I have it when I can identify the who, the characters, the where, the setting, and the what is happening in the story. So today I have an anchor chart, and this shows you the story elements, and it's character, setting, problem, solution, just like you already have learned in first grade. You know that the characters are the people, the animals, the things that the story is about. You know that the setting can be inside, outside, where the story takes place. And then you also know that sometimes there's a problem, like what is happening in the story. So today I chose a book that is really fun, and so I think you're really going to like it. Raise your hand if you have ever heard There Was an Old Lady Who Swallowed a Fly. I know a lot of you have. And since this book first came out, there are tons of versions of this story, and we're going to look at a couple of them today. There have been so many different versions that there's almost a version about everything this poor old woman has swallowed. She swallowed a fly. She swallowed a pirate map. She has swallowed a bat. She has swallowed a shell, and many, many more books. Today, I just want to read to you the beginning of There Was an Old Woman Who Swallowed a Fly. And as I'm reading to you, I'm going to be doing some thinking out loud to myself. I want you to listen to the story, but I also want you to listen to my thinking, because my thinking is already focused on who is in the story, where are they at, and what is happening. So that's what we need to try to figure out today. There was an old lady who swallowed a fly. I don't know why she swallowed the fly. Perhaps she'll die. There was an old lady who swallowed a spider that wiggled and jiggled and tickled inside her. Look at that. She swallowed the spider to catch the fly. I don't know why she swallowed the fly. Perhaps she'll die. So I'm already thinking that I know who the character is. The character of this story is the old woman. I got a clue from that when I figured out what the title was, because she was in the title. But also added to her, we have the fly and the spider that are also characters in the story. As I'm looking at the pictures and trying to identify where we are in the story, I can see this grass. And that grass gives me a clue that they are outside. And if I go back to this picture, I can see a dog, a cat, a cow, and a bird. And so I'm thinking maybe they could be at the farm. But I definitely know that they're outside. And then, my thinking tells me, my schema tells me what is happening. This old woman is eating a bunch of stuff, but I don't really know why, but she just does. So that's what's happening, okay? So as you're reading, you can be asking yourself those questions. And I did a think aloud. I just thought out loud, what are the things that are happening? And we answered those questions: who, where, and what. Now, as you get better and better at reading, you may have a favorite book and you've read it over and over and over, and you can read it in your sleep. You have memorized this book. As you get better, then you can choose how you want to read the book. So I just want to give you an example, and we're going to do this off and on throughout the year, but I think it's fun with this book. So how you read a book it's different. It's like a narrator. It's like you're telling the story. For instance, there was an old lady who swallowed a fly. I could read it as if I'm sad because I think she might die. I could also read it like a reporter. Hello, everyone. I just got news in here that there was an old lady. She was down by the farm, and I think she swallowed a fly. And someone said perhaps she'll die. So you can have fun reading these stories, pretending to be a news reporter or pretending to be sad because she's going to die, because you know the story. You have read it over and over. So now I'm going to read a little bit more, and this time I'm going to read it like I'm sad for her. There was an old lady who swallowed a bird. How absurd! She swallowed that bird. She swallowed the bird to catch a spider. She swallowed the spider to catch the fly. I don't know why she swallowed the fly. Perhaps she'll die. So you could have so much fun as you're reading. The more you read and the better you get, you can start to act out some of the story, which is so fun. So fun. So now what I want us to do is I just want us to practice a little bit with a different version of this story. So the first thing I want us to talk about is that you need to follow along in a story with either a card or a piece of paper. You can take your card and you can put it like right under your words and you can follow along. That's called tracking. Or you can use your finger and you can follow along with each word to track the print. That will help you stay on focus and make sure that you're following along with the story. So I really want you to start using your tracking finger, and we are going to be reading another version of the story called There Was an Old Lady Who Swallowed Some Books. Interesting. So I want you to look at the screen, and you're going to notice that I have already underlined all the swallowed words. So we're not going to get stuck on swallowed. We've already heard Miss Steck read it. We see it's on our page about 7-8 times, and I've underlined it. So you know what that big, huge word is, and it's going to be fine. We're just going to read the word and move on. So I want you first to look at the first line. And as you're looking at the first line, I want you to see how many words you know. So just the first line, how many words do you know? Count them on your fingers. And hold that up for me. Okay, so there might be a word or two words on that line you don't know. That's okay. The rest of it you do know. So Mrs. Steck is going to read this with you, and when you get on a word that you don't know, that you can't read it, you're going to listen to me read it to you, and that's okay. So what I want you to do is put your finger on the first line, and let's read together. There was an old lady who swallowed some books. I don't know why she swallowed some books, but she didn't get any looks. Let's stop there for a second, and let's do a think aloud. Who is in the story? Who's the character? You're right. It's the old lady again. Okay. Where are they? Well, we don't really know. We don't have a picture clue. All we have is that it was books. So we might need to read on just to make sure we can kind of figure this out. Also, what is happening? Well, this old lady, again, is swallowing things she probably doesn't need to swallow. She is swallowing books. Let's go ahead to the second paragraph and let's see if we can get some more information. Put your finger on there and read with me. There was an old lady who swallowed a pen. She was happy again when she swallowed that pen. She swallowed the pen to write in the books. I don't know why she swallowed the books, but she didn't get any looks. Good job. You guys did awesome with that. So the first thing I'm asking to myself, why is she not getting any looks? That is the craziest thing I've ever heard of in my entire life. Here's this lady standing there. She's swallowing these books. She's swallowing a pen, but nobody's even noticing her. I think I would notice her if she's swallowing books and swallowing a pen. But let's get past that. Let's see if we can figure out where she is. So she has books and she has a pen. So my guess is maybe she's at the library or maybe she's at school. Now, I don't know for sure because I don't have the whole book there, but that's what my thinking would be. So today, boys and girls, you have done so good listening. You have done so good. And with our guided practice, we know the story is about the old woman. We know this time the story is about the old woman who swallowed a book and a pen. And then we know in this story, we can infer that maybe she is at school. Very good thinking. So now it's your turn. For independent practice today, you are going to open a Google book It's actually a piece of paper. You're going to open it up in your Google Classroom, and it's called There Was an Old Lady Who Swallowed Some Leaves. So another version of the story. There is a video link of the book if you need some help reading it, because I'm not going to read it for you. But what I'd like for you to start doing is I'd like for you to try to read it on your own first. And then if you need some help, click on that link and it will read it to you. And then you can go back and try to read it again after having some schema because someone read it to you. When you're finished, there is a Google form, which is an exit ticket like you did in first grade. Just got a couple of questions. Who is in the story? Where is she? And what is happening? So you're going to answer those questions for me. And when you finish, you're going to hit submit. Okay? So that's just a little quiz to make sure that we're checking on our learning. Every day, we're going to talk about a self-reflection. A self-reflection is when you think to yourself, how did I do with this lesson? I think I did pretty good. When Mrs. Steck was reading, I was able to track with my finger. I only missed a couple of words. When I did my own reading, I had my person, my mom, my grandma, my dad, somebody helped me with a word or two. But for the most part, I could tell who was in the story, what was happening, and where they were. So I have a chart, and this is just a reflection chart. The number 4 means I understand it. I know everything there is to know about this lesson, and I could teach a friend tomorrow if I needed to. If you choose a 3, your self-reflection is a 3, it means that you've about got it. You could read the story, you just missed a few words, and the more you practice, you're able to get better. If you choose 2, I'm a little concerned. I really needed to get help from my parent. I was struggling with the book, but I enjoyed the lesson, Mrs. Steck, and you're an awesome reading teacher, but I need some help. And that's fine. I want you to reach out to me. And then number 1 is I'm really confused. I couldn't tell who the character was. I wasn't really sure where she was, and I really don't know what happened in the story. If that's you, don't be concerned. Reach out to me, have whoever's with you reach out to me, and we will work through this together. You guys, I've had so much fun in this lesson. I hope you have enjoyed it and you have enjoyed the reading and you are excited about reading class and you are ready to dive into books. I can't wait to talk to you soon today and for us to go on this adventure together. You guys have a great day.